Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Today, second story of the day, we're going to talk about all the crazy stuff happening at the same time. We've spoken about S-curves colliding, but now we're going to talk about revolutions, both in terms of crypto adoption, how black holes are taking over. We're going to look at fees. We're going to look at a whole bunch of data. We're going to look at billionaires, potentially billionaires stacking Bitcoin, some crazy stuff happening with insiders. A lot of insiders are selling stocks right now. The question is, what are they doing with that money? We'll talk about fiats. We'll talk about a huge Bitcoin buy. And we'll talk about space wars and bot wars. And literally, it's all happening at the same time. So you have to be prepared for what's coming down the pike and position yourself carefully too. So let's jump in. And thank you as well to the mods in the chat. And everybody for coming. All right, where's my little key? Got it. Without this, I'm useless. And now this is financial advice. And we have another Patreon post. Thank you to the team who puts these together for me, by the way. Patreon is amazing info. Thank you, Nomad. Appreciate it. And thank you for being part of the family, too. We are more than one person, but the more minds together, the better we all are. So let's talk about fiat for a second. This is a post about while all assets decline against Bitcoin over time, the weakest, least scarce assets will decline the fastest, which is exactly what we are seeing. Pretty soon, Bitcoin will be sitting at fresh all-time highs against all 160 fiat currencies. Shout out to Sanjay as well for sharing that. This is happening fast. We've already seen 18 fall in the last couple of months. In addition, other big news, Matrixport came out with a new Bitcoin target, 63,000 by March. That's just in 4 weeks, and they are very, very bullish this can happen. We just need to flush the turds. Every time we kind of think everything is settling down, we're getting into supply crunch, another turd arises. It's just the nature of the beast. A lot of people... we're talking about my video from, I think it was 12 days ago or something, about a potential target. It was theoretical. It was not a guarantee. It was just if history repeats, this could happen based on historic inflows. But the problem is we have historic outflows at the same time, which counterbalance it. So I hope people get that. But Matrixport are equally as bullish, and March is not far away. In addition, new ETF Bags after 29 days. You can see 130,000 Bitcoin now on Blackrock, and there's going to be more after today. Big volume today. Fidelity, nearly 100,000. ARK, 31,000. Bitwise, 23,000. And they keep on stacking. The future is bright. No doubt about that. In addition, for the first time ever in the history of the world, you have Blackrock holding a digital asset conference showcasing Bitcoin. And again, they don't have conferences for the sake of having conferences, but they have them to educate people and bring people in. And the people at these events are people with a lot of money, which is very important. But it's not just BlackRock doing this too. We have Fidelity at a Bitcoin summit in France, in Paris, with 100 bank executives and asset managers to learn more about Bitcoin and how to prepare as an institution. It's happening all over the world. And this is the scarcest asset mankind has ever known. Again, exciting times, but there's more. Now there's some weird stuff happening. We have Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, etc., all cashing in on their shares and selling a lot. Now, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon sold $150 million worth of the bank stock. And yeah, first time he's been at the helm for 18 years, and it's the first time he's made a big sale like this. What's going on? I think my theory is they have decided to diversify a little bit. I believe in heavy concentrations. That's how you make life-changing wealth. You get into a big position and you hold on to it and you let your winners run and you get in early, all that type of good stuff. Maybe they feel they have too much of a concentration in one asset and it's time to move on. Or maybe JP Morgan sees that Bitcoin and crypto is a threat, and they are not perfectly positioned compared to some other players. Now, speaking of high net worth people selling shares and maybe buying something, I tweeted this about 2 hours ago, and literally, I can't remember the last time I had a tweet that had over 140,000 views in 2 hours. Pretty incredible, but the idea was we have these alarm bells that go off when we get big moves in wallets and Bitcoin purchases, and there was a huge $1.3 billion Bitcoin purchase. Somebody who was not related to an ETF wallet or anything like that bought 26,200 Bitcoin at a price of 51K. Of course, it happened OTC because it didn't budge the price at all. But that's a big buy, okay? We don't know if it's a sovereign wealth fund, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, maybe JB Dimon. I don't know. I doubt it. He doesn't like, well, sometimes you can't trust what people say. You have to watch what they do. And he's very anti-Bitcoin, but wouldn't it be funny if he bought some? Anyhow, the point is, this is happening. 1.3 billion is a lot of money. When Tesla spent 1.5 billion on Bitcoin, the price went to the moon. The price now is stable. So I do expect some fireworks over the weekend, because when other high net worth individuals see what high net worth individuals are doing, they'll say, oh, get me some of that stuff too, but it's very scarce. In addition, people who think Bitcoin's in a bubble territory because we're up so fast, so early. This is from Macro Micro, and you can see here the key is to watch this very carefully. One of the key ratios we look at all the time is the MVRV Z-scores. We look at a lot of Z-scores for a lot of things, by the way. But when we get an MVRV Z-score that exceeds certain levels, especially in the 5 or so range, definitely over 2.5, yeah, gotta be worried. But we are far away from any type of bubble top, and this shows that as well. So all of those of you who think Bitcoin's in bubble territory, oh no. It's got a long way to go. They're just good. Now, speaking of Solana, I haven't talked about Solana in a couple of days, but this is interesting. Shout out to PYOR who put this together. And price is one way to look at the action of coin. And Solana has been kind of stagnant for a while. It shot from 20 to 135 in a very short window of time, and now it's lounging around $100. It's not really doing much, but what is interesting is the amount of fees that this chain is making. This is a sign of adoption. Okay, revenue as measured by gas fees of the respective blockchain. And Solana's gas fees have been soaring in absolute terms. And as a percentage of Ethereum's gas fees, in Feb 2023, get this, Solana's gas fees were 0.2% of Ethereum's. Today, it's 8%. And that's a 16x increase. So what's going on? And remember, Ethereum is making a lot of money too. As usual, we have all the data. That's what we do here. Now, a couple of interesting things that pop out of this. This is from the SCP Profiler, which tracks everything across all the top layer 1s, layer 2s, etc. But you can see here the average transaction fee. By the way, there was some other stuff that was very eye-popping. I will share a couple of clues later as to what that is. But if you look at the average fee, average transaction fee on Ethereum is $12.55. $12.55. If you calculate the average fee of Solana, the ETH fees are 110,984.69% higher as of today. Can you imagine how many more transactions are being done on the blockchain called Solana than Ethereum? If literally Solana fees make up now 8% of ETH fees, but the fees are 111,000% cheaper, it's mind-boggling. There's a couple more mind-boggling announcements in today's video as well, so thank you all for coming as well. Really hate ETH? No, I do not hate ETH. I own a little ETH, okay? In full disclosure, by the way, I think it was last night, my Solana bag eclipsed my ETH bag though, so can't help that. Anyway, back to business. I don't hate ETH. I share data. By the way, just one quick point here. I ding every asset equally and objectively, even if I own it myself, okay? That's just how I do things. Anyway, back to this. By the way, it's weird. The world is getting so toxic these days. I don't know why. People are so upset. But this is back to my black hole theory, and a shout out to Achi Token. This is really cool. The Solana thesis that very low fees with high capacity is a viable model, and it's starting to play out in economics, not just adoption. And again, as I've always said in black hole theory, you make it up in volume. You get the users, and you give them enough dApps to be active, and then you can catch up. For years, people said, Solana's never going to make it because they don't make enough fees. Now they are the number 2. Layer 1 in terms of fees today. Boom. All right. Let's talk about other crazy news out there in the world. This is from James Seyfarth. You can see here Reddit buys crypto. They took all their excess cash and they put it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And how do we know that? How do we know? Well, you're filing an S1. And basically, you file an S1 when you want to file for an IPO. So Reddit IPO is coming soon. Hey, Mike, good to see you, buddy. In addition, Brad Gerstner is a top disruption investor. He understands AI like very few do. And this is from Sawyer Merritt. And Brad Gerstner was going to this interview and he just got out of a car with FSD beta version 12. And he said it was mind-boggling. And he thinks this is going to be a bit of a ChatGPT moment for full self-driving and for Tesla. So shout out to Brad for noticing that. He was literally almost shaking after this. He said, I could not believe it. And I'm surprised actually that he didn't have it already. But that's what's coming. Okay, they are. I believe version 12.2 is 99% there. And there are 12 videos and cases of people that have seen it do things that are beyond human comprehension and way better than any previous version 2. So we're real close. Speaking of Tesla too, Kim Kardashian drives a Cybertruck. Good for her. Well done, Kim. And speaking of other stuff too, there's always a lot of competition between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And there's interesting stuff going on. Not only is, as I mentioned before, Jeff Bezos selling a lot of stock. We're talking, I think, $4 billion worth, if I'm not mistaken. But now he's taking that money and he's investing in things, maybe Bitcoin and definitely bots. Bezos is joining NVIDIA to join OpenAI in funding humanoid robot startup, Bloomberg reports. Okay, can they catch some of the people already in play? Let's have a look. So I decided, let's compare Elon Musk's SpaceX to Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. He has his own space company. And you can see SpaceX has left Blue Origin in the dust despite being founded earlier than SpaceX. They have a total of 15 suborbital space missions. SpaceX have too many to even remember. What's really critical is the future plans. They want to launch a lunar lander called Blue Moon. Yeah, another lander just landed there yesterday from a company out of Texas. So that's not too exciting. But if you look at the notable achievements, all the stuff, the SpaceX has put Starship into the sky twice already. A third one is coming up soon. Also, they did 96 launches in 2023 versus 3 for SpaceX. And that is averaging 8 a month for SpaceX. So if you had to bet on somebody to build a robot who would win, my money would be on Elon Musk. And that moment is coming. But other bot companies are coming too. This is from Figure AI. And when I saw this and the description of it, it gave me a little bit of concern. And I'm probably the first one to point this out. But I think it looks like a war machine. And that is one of my big fears too. I think this Figure 01, they said it will be designed to perform dangerous jobs that are unsuitable for people. And when I hear that, I think they're thinking warlike jobs or something. I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, that's going to be part of the future too, whether we like it or not. And that's one of the reasons why Elon Musk is so concerned about bots. They need that kill switch to be able to disable them so that they don't take over, especially with the advancements in AI. Speaking of NVIDIA as well, because Jeff Bezos is partnering with them, they're now the 4th biggest company and about to eclipse $2 trillion in market cap, and think it may have actually done that too. The crazy thing is, yesterday, NVIDIA added $277 billion in market cap in a day. $277 billion of market cap in a day. Can you imagine the wealth creation around the world, people who own NVIDIA stock? It's bonkers how this thing has gone. And shout out to Nancy Pelosi, insider info for the win. She made the average of 30 years worth of an average US salary, which is $60,000, in 92 days. So she made $1.7 million on her call options on NVIDIA. So well done to her. Awesome trade. And shocking news as well. NVIDIA is now larger than the German stock exchange at just under 2 trillion. And the DAX is now worth less than that. So it's pretty crazy how the world is changing. But this is all part of the revolution of how things are happening so fast. And these moments are tipping things to explode upwards. So you got to be positioned for them and wait. Lay your traps and wait. As per yesterday's video. In addition, a little bit of Bitcoin mining news. Thank you, Anjo, for coming. From Watcher Guru, Texas Blockchain Council and Bitcoin mining company Riot sues President Biden's administration, citing invasive government data collection. It is extremely invasive. I got really concerned when I read what they are planning, the type of information that they want from Bitcoin miners. It's like, that's not the American way. And thank goodness, once again, Texas is standing up to this ridiculous overreach of government. Again, I'm unfortunately got a little political again, but literally let companies do what they want to do. Let free markets run. When people start controlling stuff, it just gets really bad. Speaking of Riot as well, they had some killer earnings. They set a new all-time high in revenue, $281 million. They produced 6,626 Bitcoin. They also, one of the things I like about Riot, and in full disclosure, I own Riot, it's my second biggest miner position. They had $71 million of power credits. And not only that as well, Zacks expected them to lose 29 cents a share. Instead, they made 48 cents a share in the last quarter. Woohoo, well done. And yeah, Riot's doing well. Some of the winning Bitcoin miners are doing very well, and that's great. And another news too from Michael Sonnenschein from Grayscale. He said the ETH ETF is coming. It's guaranteed to come. He just doesn't know when. So that is kind of the update there. And a final little piece of news on this from Game of Trades. I've been talking about this for quite a while now, that growth stocks in China could be in the bargain bin. And now Game of Trades thinks the same thing too. And again, in full disclosure, I did buy some Baba a couple of weeks ago. It's up a little bit, not much, but we'll see. It does have the potential to pop. And that's also, by the way, a potential disruption / AI play. They're doing some very interesting things in that field. So are Baidu too. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to get smarter. We're all about disruption here. And crazy, crazy exciting time to be alive. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to the mods in the chat. And I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Actually, I'll do a quick Bitcoin daily update, and then I'll do the crypto weekend recap and the weekend recap of all the big news in the week too. Good times ahead, everybody. Just stay healthy, stay safe, and expect some crypto fireworks, I think, over the weekend. I hope, at least. Thanks all.